Entrepreneurship is one of the defining characteristics of modern American society. Indeed, the 21st century idea of American independence has more to do with economic freedom than with a political struggle. In many countries, the dream of starting one's own business quickly turns into a nightmare of endless paperwork and bureaucratic red tape. The unique combination of a skilled workforce and a thriving capital market makes the United States an ideal environment for entrepreneurs at all levels of ambition, whether they aspire to be billionaire software developers or owners of neighborhood restaurants. What does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? As a rule, these business people are willing to assume risks, take the initiative, create a vision, and rally others to follow their lead. Experts describe the entrepreneur as someone who is self-directed. You should be confident and self-disciplined enough to be your own boss. Self-nurturing. You must believe in your idea when no one else does. Action-oriented. You must have the burning desire to realize, actualize, and build your dream into reality. Highly energetic. You must be physically and emotionally ready to work long hours to support your business. Tolerant of uncertainty. You must be fully committed to your idea and be comfortable with the risks involved. One such entrepreneur is Maxine Clark. She told Jim McHugh, one of the authors of Understanding Business, why she left her position in corporate America to start her own business.
I decided to leave corporate America and department store retailing in particular to venture on my own because I felt there was an opportunity for more creativity in the retail marketplace. And while in most recent years things have been getting larger, super centers, super stores, there was definitely a need for a niche retailers to be developed in certain particular categories or in certain particular industries where more of personalized and customized attention could be paid.
Maxine Clark began Build-A-Bear Workshop in 1997 with a single store in St. Louis. She had a hunch that traditional retail shopping could be greatly enhanced by making the customer's experience more interactive by letting them build their own personalized stuffed animals. While on a tour of a local bakery, she noticed that the children were fascinated by the bread manufacturing process. This provided the inspiration for Build-A-Bear.
And I saw the look of wonder on their eyes and said, my gosh, these kids are having just as much fun looking at a bakery and how bread is made as they are when they're playing Super Nintendo. And something sort of clicked for me that sometimes we think it's something very complex that drives the marketplace or interests children or even interests adults, when in fact it can be something quite simple.
Ms. Clark sought the advice of a trusted advisor, her friend's 10-year-old daughter, Katie. Together, they decided that the Beanie Baby craze was so hot that the marketplace was ready for an interesting variation on that theme.
And she and I basically decided that stuffed animals was the way to go. And then we branched out and asked a lot of other children, teenagers as well as children younger than her, what they thought of the idea and what kinds of things they thought would sell and what kind of animals we should have and what kind of clothes should those be. And we got so many interesting suggestions from our kids. And so now nothing that we invent for Build-A-Bear Workshop doesn't have their seal of approval, so to speak.
Because the input of her customers is so vital to her business, Ms. Clark uses an advisory board to conduct her market research. Her trusted advisors are not high-paid suits with MBAs from top business schools. She'd rather hear what the experts have to say. Her advisory board consists of children aged 6 to 14 years old.
Because they vary in age. A lot of them are available. We call them on the phone, send them a picture via email, and they'll respond pretty quickly. But our world has broadened. Our customers are children, and so they offer up a lot of ideas themselves that we certainly run past our advisory board, but it's like having this giant advisory board all at once. On top of our more formal system, we have an informal system of many, many guests, ages 3 to 103, who provide us with ideas and suggestions for our business.
After she decided upon the product and target audience, Ms. Clark was determined to make Build-A-Bear Workshop a memorable shopping experience.
Well, our store is not about selling anything specific. It's about creating a retail experience. Certainly people walk out with a product in hand, but it isn't about buying a teddy bear or a pig or a frog or any stuffed animal. It's about the creation of that stuffed animal and giving it a personality. And it isn't that you can't buy a teddy bear or a frog or a pig in anybody else's store. There's lots of stores in every mall in America and discount store where you can buy stuffed animals. But they come either already named, already stuffed to a certain huggability, a certain softness, whatever it is that you want. And they certainly don't have the personality and the wishes inside that our customers give it. And it's a totally interactive experience versus just picking an animal up off of a shelf and putting it in a bag and taking it home.
Once she decided on the retail concept for Build-A-Bear Workshop, Maxine Clark had to write a solid business plan and find investors. She was able to secure the first round of financing by leveraging her own financial resources and her reputation as an experienced business person. This allowed her to lease retail space, begin to accumulate inventory, and start to develop the business.
It's much easier for people to invest in an ongoing business that they can see and feel and touch than it is a business plan on paper. However, that business plan, we would not have gotten the first investment had we not had a business plan that somebody could look at, because there was no store to see. There was a little bit of merchandise to see, but they certainly had to look at pictures and they had to read numbers and statistical evidence to support what I thought was going to be a successful business.
One key to the success of Build-A-Bear Workshop is the active participation of the employee with a customer or guest, as they are known. Store managers recruit from both ends of the age spectrum to find enthusiastic and outgoing persons who can facilitate the creative process in children and adults alike.
Our employees are a very special asset of Build-A-Bear Workshop, just like they are to most companies. But in our company, we really reached out to a different sort of worker. Yes, we want people who are experienced in the retail business and understand the hours and the work involved in running a retail store, but at the same time we want people who have an appreciation for children, for the imagination of a child. And I'm not talking about a child who's necessarily in the traditional years of childhood. I'm talking about the child inside all of us that knows how to have a little bit of fun and doesn't take themselves too seriously. And at Build-A-Bear Workshop, it's not about selling anything. It's really about connecting with that guest and helping engage them in the process of making their own stuffed animal. So it pulls on skills that may not have been traditional selling skills. We don't have quotas for people. We don't say you have to sell this much in order to be a worker in our company. It's really about creating a great guest experience. We want happy people. We want people who want to make a difference in the people they come in contact with every day. And there's many, fortunately, many people out there like that. And I think we've been able to attract a different level of worker than maybe the average mall store looks for.
Since Build-A-Bear Workshops are usually located in malls with high foot traffic, store managers are never at a loss to find potential recruits.
Basically, we recruit by looking for talent out in the mall. When we're out shopping or if we're out getting lunch, we just look for talent out in the stores. Or when someone comes into the workshop, we look for people who shows a genuine interest in bears or kids or just fun, want to let loose. We just say, hey, you want to join our team? You know, come play with us. You can work with us and just be a part of all of the experience. And we talk to them about our availability and flexibility. And if it's a partnership, then we go ahead and try to get them on.
A sense of fun permeates every aspect of the Build-A-Bear Workshop experience, and the enthusiasm of the staff is contagious.
Shopping here is fun because someone can come in and create their own animal. They can put into it whatever they want to put in it. They can make a special bear for someone that's ill or a newborn baby or a best friend.
Any employer will tell you that teamwork and training are two key elements that enhance employee performance. Build-A-Bear Workshop employees or associates receive extensive training in customer communication and are taught the value of working effectively as a team.
Teamwork here at Build-A-Bear Workshop we feel is a very important part. All of our teams and all of our associates work together as a team to create a great work environment and a great experience for our guests who come into the workshop. All of our team members know that one part of the team, when they're functioning properly and great, it affects all the other parts of the team. Our training here at Build-A-Bear Workshop has a lot of training about the experience that's created with guests as they come through the workshop to create and make a teddy bear. Our training goes to Things such as how do you talk to guests and communicate with them as you go through the stations of Build-A-Bear Workshop, such as how do you communicate with them and include them in an experience of putting stuffing in the animal. How do you communicate with our guests as far as what it's like to put a heart and kiss a heart and put that inside the teddy bear. How do you communicate and work with guests at each of the other stations in the workshop, such as the Dress Me station where we're going to pick out clothing for the bear, and how do you communicate with guests to work on creating accessories to go with that outfit. A lot of our training has to do with each of the stations to Build-A-Bear in the workshop and how you communicate and include guests in that. That's where predominantly our training is focused on.
At all times, Build-A-Bear Workshop associates strive to create a positive first impression for their guests. They feel that by creating a great customer experience, the sales will naturally follow.
A lot of our training has to do with when you first meet a guest, what are the ways to greet them and welcome them into the workshop. That training is very important, that first impression when a guest comes into the workshop. A lot of our training deals with that first impression. How do you get someone excited when they first come into the workshop about building a teddy bear and about being creative and building one? And we do focus on sales, but not as much as a lot of retail companies out there. Our focus on sales is as a result of our focus on customer service. We realize that by doing great customer service with our guests, the sales will follow.
Most entrepreneurs will tell you that they have to be sensitive to customer needs. Maxine Clark credits her customers with many valuable and important suggestions.
The customers played a major role in the evolution and actually the creation of our company. From the beginning, we put out a store that we thought that they would like and find entertaining, but from that moment forward it was up to them. We found our bears and our pigs and frogs and puppy dogs all have to be as stylishly dressed and outfitted as their child and adult counterparts. So we bring new products, whatever the fashion says is important. And these are suggestions come from our customers and our children. We had about a month ago, a child called me up and said, why don't we have those metal scooters for bears? And I said, absolutely, why don't we? And coming just in a few days will be metal scooters for bears.
Since its inception in 1997, Build-A-Bear Workshop has grown to become a coast-to-coast retailer with 40 locations in over a dozen states. They have developed a healthy mail-order business by offering many products online. The current business plan calls for expansion to continue domestically and overseas, with a goal of operating a total of 100 workshops in the next few years. By any standard, Maxine Clark is a phenomenally successful entrepreneur. She offers this advice to novice business people.
I think I would tell any young entrepreneur thinking about going out on their own business or creating their own businesses to be sure that you have the energy and are willing to take the time to make the commitment that's necessary. It's a constant, almost 24-hour-a-day job. When you're running the show, if something goes wrong, they don't call anybody else, they call you. It's great to have a successful business, and if that's what you want, there's no get-rich-quick scheme. It just takes a lot of time and energy and personal commitment that may not be for everyone. So I don't recommend it for everyone, but I do recommend it to people who see a possibility and want to go after it with all their heart and soul.